I always thought that struggling through university was as close to death as one could come. However, as it turns out, there are a number of people who have come much closer to death than those of us just trying to write a thesis. My masterate thesis is about the near-death experience. And I'm very aware that each time I say that, all of my friends are assuming I'm some kind of religious hippie who's studying complete and utter nonsense. The near-death experience is actually one of the most dramatic experiences a person can have, and it affects 1 in 5 of those who've had a close brush with death. It's been described as a vivid, subjective, and transcendental experience that occurs at a time when the body isn't functioning the way we understand it to. Seeing a really bright light is one of the features most often used to define the experience. And because these defining features were found to be so common across the board, it led to speculation that perhaps the near-death experience is something of a universal human phenomenon. But a recent study has highlighted that actually most of the research has been conducted with European populations. And when the very limited numbers of non-European accounts were analysed, it was realised there are some features that appear in some cultures and not in others. So perhaps the near-death experience is actually culture-bound. So it's fair to say that the theories developed this far are a little bit premature because we just don't understand enough about the near-death experience. So my research is looking at the near-death experiences of Māori. And I want to know if these experiences have similarities between each other and whether they are similar to or different from those European accounts we already have access to. My biggest problem is that I'm Pākehā, so how is it okay for me to conduct research with Māori? Well, my solution to this was to chase down a beautiful Māori boy and have him teach me all things Māori. However, it's interesting just how fast a man can run when you're assumed to be some kind of religious nutcase who's studying complete and utter dribble. So for the purposes of this research, I have a Māori advisory panel, and I've developed my methodology from a kaupapa Māori perspective. One of the fundamental concerns of kaupapa Māori is the fair distribution of power. So the power of this research rests with the participants and the wider Māori community. I hope this research benefits those Māori who have had a near-death experience, and also the clinicians working with these Māori as they recover. But most of all, I hope this research works as an emancipatory channel for Māori voice and people's stories. Because at the end of the day, he aha te mea nui, what is it that is most important? He tangata, he tangata, he tangata. It is people, it is people, it is people. Thank you very much.